Yeah,
I don't know. Like less is more, but it feels like even and that's something. That's why we love smaller movies. But now I'm not going to say this is going to start a trend.
No,
but this was the antithesis of less is more. This was more is more, more. Basically.
Yeah.
And you don't need that. Hello, and welcome back to the Spoilercast, the show we talk about movies and don't care about spoiling them. Because it's the Spoilercast. And today, my name is Tobias, and with me, as always, is my sister and trusty co-host, Rebecca.
Hello.
Hello, I'm a little confused today, because the movie we're talking about today is Everything Everywhere All at Once, the new movie by Daniel, starring Michelle Yeoh and, what's his name,
Jamie Lee Curtis.
No, well, yeah, I was thinking of the husband character, I don't remember.
Ke-Huy Kwan?
Right.
Pronunciations, I am very sorry.
Yeah, sure.
And also, Grandpa is James Hong.
James Hong, yeah. It's the movie. It's been out for a while. You know what it's about. It's a multiverse story. Another one.
Yes.
We weren't the biggest fans of the last multiverse story we watched, the Doctor Strange movie.
But we figured this one might be good. So let's give it a shot.
Yes, because first of all, it's not part of the MCU.
It's
made by two very creative directors, Daniel something and Daniel something, called Daniels. Or they call themselves Daniels when they direct.
Daniel Scheinert? I cannot pronounce it. And the other one is just Dan Kwan.
Yeah, Daniel Kwan.
Oh, okay.
And it's also, it's a much smaller budget, so they have to be creative with their special effects and everything. And it's being distributed and I guess, produced by A24, which, it's a studio with a very good track record when it comes to movies of all genres.
It has become my favorite production company.
Yes.
Over the last couple of years now.
We should briefly discuss that later in this episode. But first, we're going to talk about Everything Everywhere All at Once. We're a little bit late because it didn't come out in Sweden until now. It's been out for a while in other countries.
Yeah.
That's why we don't really have to go through the story. It's it's a lady who realizes that she's in a multiverse and she has to fight people.
She has to use the multiverse to fight people. Yeah, it's been out since early March.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah. So it's been getting really good reviews. Some people said it's like the best movie ever made.
It has
certainly the best movie this year.
It has a Metascore of 81 by now.
Yeah. So yeah, I was optimistic because of everything pointed at a really good movie.
Yeah.
Maybe not the greatest ever, but a good movie, really good movie.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing you were similarly anticipative.
I was enticed.
Yeah.
I suppose. I mean, it's an interesting concept. It's an interesting premise. Apart from the whole multiverse thing.
Yeah.
It's about an aging Chinese immigrant woman. Not a teenager or, a young, hot-looking lady or something. No. An aging Chinese immigrant woman.
Yeah. Which, I want to talk about that description as well, but we'll get to that. Let's just now start by talking about what we thought of the movie.
Yes.
So, what did you think of Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Well, I think I put it quite clearly when the movie ended, the credits started to roll and the lights came on in the theater and I turned to you and I said, this movie gave me a headache.
Yes, and not in a good way.
Not in a completely good way.
If there is a good way to have a headache, I don't know.
Well, there is, I suppose. Okay. However, it does get an A for effort.
All right.
That's like the brief, very simple way of saying it.
All right. Yeah, and I'll say that this is in some ways very similar, not just because of the multiverse, but very similar to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And, not in a good way.
Yeah.
my brief review is that Everything Everywhere All at Once is a bit much, a bit too much. That's what I wrote on Letterboxd, and I actually don't think I will write a long review of this movie because there's no point.
No.
And you want to know why there's no point to writing a long review of this movie? Because despite all of its, intricate multiverse theories and incredibly choreographed fight scenes and awesome special effects, very creative special effects. I mean, they created equally spectacular effect scenes as Doctor Strange did, but they did it with colored lights and like a little bit of green screen. And googly eyes, the ones you glue onto paper. You see, you just need to be creative, and it'll be just as much fun,
Exactly.
The problem is, all this, and I guess it's a little bit of spoiler, traveling through the multiverse, creating a everything bagel that will eventually devour the multiverse, just to get to the conclusion that, life's tough sometimes. But as long as you have someone you love, it's okay.
And, a mother will always love her daughter no matter what, basically.
Yeah.
Or at least
that's
in this
case.
It? Yeah.
That's it?
Basically, yes. It's 2 hours and 19 minutes long.
Yeah.
Felt like at least 2.5 or more.
Yeah, because unlike Doctor Strange, which is actually shorter, it's like 2 hours and 15 or something.
Yeah. It's a few minutes shorter.
Yeah, but this one doesn't have 10 minutes of credits. It's a pretty regular size credits roll.
Yeah.
It's like maybe 5 minutes. So this one is, I'm pretty sure, actually longer than Doctor Strange.
Actual film time, yes.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like with Doctor Strange, I'm amazed that you really need to create a multiverse to tell the story of love conquers all. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
See,
you're creating a multiverse to tell the simplest story ever?
Yeah, that's a bit stupid.
Yeah.
And also very predictable, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because as soon as they showed us that there was one, like, they showed us the silhouette of the main bad guy. Tupac, I don't remember what they called her.
I don't remember, something.
They changed the name every time also because it was a weird name that no one could remember. I want to say Tapioca, but I don't know. As soon as I saw the shape, I was like, yeah, that's the daughter.
Okay, yeah, I didn't.
That is 100% the daughter.
You figure it out pretty quickly because they kind of showed pretty quickly.
Yeah, but like before they showed it, I was like, yeah, that's the daughter.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Yeah, I'm just amazed that because this movie, the whole multiverse part of it, like I guess the second act, and part of the first act, was just like a mess. And that's the way everyone, portrays the multiverse, I suppose, because there's an infinite number of universes that are infinitely large. So, in order to make it feel infinite and super big, you gotta just cram as much as you can in there. It's, everything, everywhere, all at once. Yeah. The thing is, sure, for a few minutes, that's kind of cool. But after like 10, 15 minutes, you're like, all right, so move on, do something else now. Like,
especially
this is just spectacle.
Especially since they keep reusing the same other universes. For me, it would have made more sense if they just kept adding new ones instead. So we can't go back to the fucking sausage fingers.
Hot dog fingers.
Dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Dumbest thing I've ever seen, except for the fact, perhaps, that they threw in sex toys.
What? With the hot dog fingers?
No. I'm thinking it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was in the regular universe or the one that where we started in.
Yeah, they had the IRS like Employee of the Month awards were shaped as butt plugs.
Yeah, and then you had a fight with dildos.
Yeah. But that was, she turned nightsticks into dildos. Either way. But you can't keep adding, like, new universes, because then you have to build, like, imagine how many sets and costumes they would have to build. Like, they didn't even do that in Doctor Strange, so, they obviously don't have the budget to do, like, 58,000 different universes.
See, the thing is, regarding the multiverses, you don't actually have to have that big of a difference between the ones you connect.
No. A couple of them should be weird, but the rest should just be, like, slightly different.
Which, because she made one other choice. She picked the red pepper instead of the green one. She fucking jaywalked at one point.
Yeah.
Like, come on. It doesn't have to be more difficult, more complicated than that. Sure, the one where she decided not to go with her husband.
Or boyfriend at the time, yeah.
Yeah, and she ended up either being in the one
a movie star.
Yeah, and the one where she became a movie star, or the one where she
ended up in a relationship with the IRS lady.
Oh yeah, that one too. Or the one where she fell and got blind.
Oh yeah.
Like, sure, that's fine, but
you also
don't make, because the one where she becomes a movie star is like part of the main plot somehow.
Yeah, because.
It's not just one of the places she goes to gather experience.
No, well, that's because, she is gathering experience, but,
Sure.
Information, not just, I can fight.
Emotional experience, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's good. But and also the whole thing, when you're doing in a multiverse, there is infinite universes with infinite possibilities. So you have to add some weird ones.
Sure.
You got to do the hot dog fingers. You got to do the pinata one.
Yeah. Or like in Strange, the cartoon one, or the color.
Yeah, exactly. Because
color.
to kind of represent everything.
Sure, definitely.
So I don't see a problem with that.
I just felt like they added too much weight to some of the other universes. And that confused me to think, like, where is this actually taking place? In which timeline? Where are we?
Taking place everywhere all at once.
Yeah, I suppose
that's literally where it takes place. Because she becomes, one of those. She becomes, as the main baddie, she becomes one of those that she experiences everything everywhere all at once. Unlike other people who can, only some people can jump between the multiverses.
Yeah.
Or between the universes, whatever. So that's fine. What I think is, like, pointless is like, this movie did not have to be 2 hours. We didn't need, like, 15 fight scenes. Like, at one point it just became a Marvel movie. Everyone was just punching everybody.
Yep.
What I did like, however, about that was that, when the third act sort of started, they actually did exactly what we talked about in the Doctor Strange discussion, or Doctor Strange episode. They actually stopped. Someone yelled, "Stop! Please stop fighting. Can we just talk?" And then they talked. And I was like, oh.
That was a bit refreshing.
Before that, there was, like, almost an hour of just running around different universes, jumping, running, fighting. And, yeah, you got a headache, and I almost felt it. My brain shut off.
Oh, yeah, mine too. I was dozing off at times because I could not focus. My brain literally shut off.
Like, there was no point to all the fighting. Like, that was just excess. It didn't forward the story. Like, it was so much excess just to show what they could do.
Like,
and
I understand that they wanted to have a conflict because no one had stopped to make sure, to understand what this bad person was trying to do, which was technically just talk to her mother.
But that could have been, like...
But that could have been 20
minutes. Yeah, 25 just to hammer
an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it was basically an hour of pure fighting.
And just running around, and then little small moments where they, get back to the, the main universe, so to speak, and
you had, like, a snippet of them. She's flashing into some other universe where she's a chef, and the whole
Ratatouille? Raccoon-a-cooey?
Which for some reason was translated into fox for us.
Yeah, like ratatouille, ravatouille. You can't,
I suppose.
You can't say tvättbjörnatouille.
No, I guess not.
In Swedish. Raccoon does not sound like raccoon in Swedish. It's tvättbjörn. Wash bear.
Yeah.
Literally wash bear, It does sound weird. So they had to... Foxatouille worked better in Swedish. Ravatouille.
And rat.
Sort of like
and
ratatouille.
Rotta is basically the same. I'm just gonna, move my cat. 1 second.
Yeah. So that's fine. That's always gonna happen with, with subtitles.
Yeah, it just confused me. It was like, fox? What the fuck do you mean fox?
That's not a fox, it's a raccoon.
Yeah.
yeah, sure.
That was just a side note. That was weird. That was weird use of that actor, because I recognize him from something.
Yeah, he was in... I've seen him in a couple of things now. He was in that dumb Jimmy Yang Christmas movie, rom-com Christmas movie, with the girl, whatever her name is.
Harry Shum Jr. I know him from Crazy Rich Asians, Shadowhunters, the show, Step Up 2, and Glee.
He did something like recently. He did that Catfish Tinder Christmas movie, which was pretty bad, where he played like the brother.
Right. What was that called?
I don't remember. I watched it once and I'll never watch it again. So I don't know. But I recognized him.
Yeah. He gets weird small parts for some reason.
Yeah. And he was in something else. I don't remember. I don't really care.
Yeah. That was just... That entire sequence or universe where she was a chef, it's just... I don't know, it just fucking blew my mind. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and
bothered me, I suppose.
For the most part, all the different universes, they added something to the plot or something to the story.
Yes,
but it was just too much. And like I said, when you're just gonna reach the conclusion that just focus on what's good in life and it'll be okay. Love is nice. It's just like
family might be difficult sometimes, but deep down inside they do love you. You just need to, stop and talk about it.
Yeah,
they had the issue even in the beginning that they didn't talk. Even though she wasn't traveling through universes, she was still too busy to talk.
Yeah,
obviously.
Exactly. It was just a movie about being busy.
Yeah,
she had everything everywhere all at once. She had she had to take care of her dad. She had to take care of his birthday party. She had to take care of all the receipts for the auditing. She had to take care of
the laundry place,
the laundromat that they run. Yeah,
she was cooking and cleaning and doing all the things.
Yeah, it was everything all at once. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
But I don't see why you need to make it into a sci-fi 2.5 hour sci-fi movie just to explain that, life's tough, but just if we calm down,
because
we can help each other.
Who would go and watch a movie about an aging, I suppose, a middle-aged plus?
Yes, that's silly. Middle-aged
Chinese immigrant couple running a laundromat and having a lot on their plate.
Well, a lot of people. We were in a relatively small theater, but it was packed.
Yeah, but I think they went and saw it because it's a multiverse thing.
I think this is actually one of those movies where word of mouth has kind of spread, and that it's a good movie, that's good. And this is the kind of movie, sure I didn't love it, but I would recommend it, sort of, because it's a movie that popcorn munchers can actually enjoy, because it's a bunch of spectacles and special effects and fighting. It's not just two people sitting in a room talking about how they're too busy to love each other, which what this movie should have been. But that's just me.
Yeah, but it's also a bit too much for some people. Probably
it was too much. Yeah, I think it was too much. But I'm wondering, because multiverses is a big thing now. Sure, it's like a year and a half old now, but we have, of course, Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, yes.
Which kind of, I guess, started the multiverse trend. At least the modern multiverse trend.
Yeah.
And then we had Spider-Man No Way Home last winter or whatever, 2021 winter. And then, Doctor Strange, and we had, I guess you can call Loki a multiverse show.
I think
on
so.
Disney Plus. they do like timelines, but it's basically a multiverse thing. I don't know. I didn't
and
watch
the
it.
What If series as well.
Yeah, so Multiverse is very popular.
It's been a
especially
thing
with
for a
Marvel
while,
stuff.
obviously.
Yeah. And then
I mean, even before the
movie
movies, it existed in the comic books, as far as I know.
Oh yeah, and like multiverse has been a theory for decades.
Yeah.
In real life. But I'm wondering, like, it's at this point, especially with these two movies, it almost feels like a crutch, because this, to me, it felt like, the way everyone was annoyed at all the explosions in the Transformers movies.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a bunch of spectacle to make you go, oh, whoa, sensory overload.
Yeah, it's to distract, well, hello, focus. There we go. It's to, it's to add toddler effect, movement and colors, because
make you go, whoa.
Things.
Yeah, when it's really just a story about people who need to sit down and talk, and that's, I don't remember Into the Spider-Verse. That one was literally sensory overload for me. I had to turn it off. It was a good movie, what I watched, but I couldn't finish it. Like, my old boomer brain was like, oh, and I had to shut it off.
That
I don't
was
know how it ends.
The first animated one, right? That came out like a few years ago.
Yeah.
I don't think I
had
finished
Miles Morales and Peter J. Parker, and then Spider-Man Noir and Spider-Ham.
And the lady. What the hell are you doing, Cass?
Yeah, Gwen Stacy as Spider-Lady or whatever. Yeah.
I didn't think I finished that one because it got too complicated and too weird, and I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Enough.
Yeah.
I kind of have the same attitude towards this one. It's just too much.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore.
Like, I think I've brought it up a bunch of times when we talk about, like, or maybe I'm just remembering wrong, but I think, when telling a story like this about people kind of falling out of love because of life and all the struggles in life, like, you can do it in the simplest way possible. Prime example being Marriage Story. Marriage Story is like one of the best movies I've seen in many, many years. It was so good, so well written, and it's literally just actors sitting in rooms talking to each other.
Yeah.
But there's so much going on, in those discussions, in those rooms. It's just in the way they, like, look at each other and talk to each other. It's insane how much that movie made me feel.
I, to be honest, have not seen it.
Oh my god, you need to watch it.
It's on the list.
It's come on. It should be bumped up at least.
Oh, yeah, sure.
A couple of spaces.
I'll see whenever I have time. Can't be everywhere every time all at once.
Yeah. And then you have a movie like this, which kind of not the same thing, because that's about, like, accepting that you fall out of love. This movie is about realizing that love is good.
Appreciating what you have.
Yeah, if anything, it's even simpler, but it still has to turn into this universe jumping, super duper action spectacle movie. Like, come on! If you're gonna do that, maybe this is like going into what I've talked about before. Yeah, like, do something more exciting then. Like, make it a proper sci-fi movie where you, like, explore the possibilities of the multiverse. Don't just have it as, a framework for love is good.
You know what we haven't had in a while? A scientist movie about stuff like this. Like, add the scientists.
Yeah, I was thinking of thinking of when we talk about this, because it's kind of similar. Interstellar.
Yeah,
it's almost 10 years. That's insane.
God. Yeah,
it's next year. It's 10 years old, and that's a movie where literally, once again, they say that love is like the one thing that transcends time and space. It's literally the same thing as here, like love conquers all. But that's not the only thing the movie, like,
is about.
Hangs itself on. No, like they figure out how to use love to like contact each other through time and space. Love is not just the end goal. Love becomes a tool, and they actually like go into detail on some of the like dimension hopping that they do in that one.
Yeah.
When he's like sort of outside of our 3 dimensions in that tesseract towards the end.
Yeah.
And he manages to contact his daughter
by
throughout
pushing
her
the
life.
books.
Yeah, pushing the books and pushing the clock or watch and everything.
Yeah.
Their love is the driving force, but it's, you know, the plot is still him trying to save Earth.
Oh yeah.
Which is, you know, because Earth is dying, and you know, and in the end, saving Earth is leaving Earth. It turns out, you know, just like they said in the beginning, because they create that Dyson sphere thing where they are in the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, so even if the whole love thing is a little cheesy in that movie, at least they have something else, and it's not just spectacle. There is, you know, substance to the spectacle.
Yes.
That's what these movies need.
The spectacle is actually fantastic and not just messy. I mean, this was still good, because I need to get into that. The special effects and the how they presented the multiverse and the traveling and all the like things. Great job.
Yeah, brilliant use of special effects.
Yes.
And
on
very
top
creative.
of that being the fact that they had a smaller budget than what we're used to nowadays, and
much smaller,
a much smaller team working on the special effects. That's like award only for that, basically.
Yeah, like honestly, like Oscars being what they are, whatever. This should be nominated for like some effects, you know, technical Oscars. Yes, it's so well made. Yes, and I mean all the other technical aspects of it, like sound, cinematography. It was just
wardrobe.
It was a very good-looking movie, a very well-made movie.
Everything about this movie, except for the story, was spot on.
Yeah, and that's why I couldn't really. I don't hate this movie. I actually liked it. It's just a little much.
Yeah. You need to be like well-fed, well-hydrated, and prepared to be able to watch it.
Yeah,
because it's a journey.
But I want to talk a little bit about why some people, you know, a lot of like film Twitter, letterboxd people, you know, cinephiles, have given this you know, top score, like perfect score, 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5. You know, there's this guy who he has a kind of a small following. He has a couple of like videos that got a lot of views, but he's called The Fake Critic. I think he's very good. He does good video essays. But I think he's the one. Sorry if I'm misquoting him here, but I think he said that it's like it might be the best movie ever made. And it's just like, I want to talk about that because a bunch of people like you know video essays, like I said, letterboxd people have been calling this the best movie ever. Or very good, at least.
On a technical aspect, yes.
Sure.
Story and in all, no. It's a bit of a mess.
Yeah. Let me bring up some of the reviews just so we can read them. Because there are some like here. Well, that's just a funny review, but Carson Runquist, which is a YouTuber, pretty good YouTuber, he gave it 4 out of 5 and called it easily one of the top 5 movies about taxes. Yeah,
yeah, give you that. I'll give you that.
What else? I saw someone else. Ugh, this is gonna take too long now.
Prepare. You should have prepared.
I should have prepared, I suppose. Let's see if we can find some else. Here. Well, Elvis the Alien, 5 out of 5. The colossal undertaking it must have been to create this movie is hard to imagine. Yeah, sure, I agree with that. Beautifully filmed and edited, perfect music, hilarious, poignant, endlessly creative. This movie is everything. One of the best ever made. You know?
Yeah.
Let's see if there's someone else that we recognize. Well, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna look too long. But then I someone that just follows here, gave it a 5 out of 5. Called it, "This is the best movie ever made," and then there's a link to something, whatever.
Yeah. I'm scrolling through user reviews on IMDb. A lot of them are like, best film of 2022 or the 2020s, fantastic.
Yeah.
Great acid trip, don't do drugs, just watch this movie. Perfect title for this movie, agreed.
Sure, yeah.
But one that kind of bothers me is the most original film ever made.
Yeah, it's literally just
not,
The Matrix / Doctor Strange
/ Marriage Story, I suppose. Yeah. It's not original.
It's not. I mean, the look and style, yes, but the concept, it's not very, like, they reached the most worn out, premise ever in movies, like love. Like, there's nothing unique about that.
No.
That your movie is about love, though. Love.
Not even having to travel through time and space to, I guess, find love again isn't original. We've seen that before.
Yeah, we've seen that before, and we've seen it done better.
Yeah.
And let's then get to why I think people say this is... We already touched upon that, but why people say this is the best movie ever. Honestly, I think they're just being blinded by all the cool special effects.
Yeah. Flashing lights.
This is literally indie Transformers.
Yeah.
Like, you have a super simple story that you could have told in like an hour 20, and it could have all taken place in that laundromat, basically, and maybe the IRS office.
Yeah.
Because it's just about, like, finding happiness in the situation you're in right now.
Yeah.
That's literally it. Like, falling back in love with your husband. Realizing that while you just think he's an idiot and ruins everything, it turns out he's actually, like, there in the background.
Always cheering you on, always helping you.
Yeah, and you're just too busy to realize, because you have everything going on at once,
And
so when you slow down, you realize that, and same thing with your daughter.
Exactly. If you just slow down and look at your daughter, and maybe you can realize that just because she's different doesn't mean she's not me, not
exactly
what I love.
Yeah, she's literally like, she finds out like she's literally like me in the end. We're both kind of like scatterbrained and stubborn. Yeah, like that's it.
She's just a lesbian and has tattoos. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
Which I guess comes with modern times sometimes.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I don't know. Like less is more, but it feels like even and that's something, that's why we love smaller movies. But now I'm not going to say this is going to start a trend.
No.
But this was the antithesis of less is more. This was more is more. Basically.
Yeah.
And you don't need that.
No. I mean, again, what they did eventually ended up being pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I wish they would have applied it to a more intricate and, I guess, not deeper, but more complicated storyline.
Yeah.
Give it more of a reason to have all this, whatever they called it, verse jumping or whatever.
Yeah.
Hopping. I don't remember. Instead of it being just, coming to a realization that you could have come to by literally just stopping and talking.
Yeah. Like,
have it be, I don't know, a being that you can't just stop and talk to, that you have to stop at a specific place and time, and you have to have a specific set of skills to be able to stop it.
Yeah.
Not just, talking with your normal human voice.
Yeah.
To your normal human daughter who just happens to be very good at verse jumping in one universe.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, they should have, just to make the plot, not the story. We talked about this. Story is the same as themes, and plot is what's actually happening in the movie.
Yeah.
The surface level stuff. I thought they should have elaborated more on the fact that in the Alpha universe, or the Alphaverse, or whatever they call it, the one where they developed verse jumping.
The technology.
Yeah. In that universe, our main character, I don't remember, Evelyn.
Yes.
She's the one who kind of Well, I guess her husband figures it out, Waymond, but she's the genius he talks about. And she's the one that trains other people in verse jumping. But it's also her, then, that drives her daughter insane, because she's not strong enough or whatever to actually take the mental strain that it takes to do verse jumping. That's why she broke and became that bad guy. She
was strong enough to do it, but then her mother kept pushing it. Other people died, she just broke.
Yeah, sure, yeah. So I guess she was stronger, but yeah, she broke and became a bad guy.
Yeah, because you went too far.
She couldn't discern the different universes. She was everywhere and everything all at once.
Yes.
So she was this tormented person, which is interesting. I just wish they had elaborated a bit on that that's supposed to be like, the pressure we put on our children sometimes is too much, and we don't see it because, sure,
it's all under the surface, basically.
Yeah, but once again, did you have to travel to several different universes to get to the end point? That is, maybe we shouldn't push them too hard. Let them figure themselves out.
Which I do like how they portrayed that a little bit with the daughter, with all the crazy costumes that she wore.
Yeah.
All the trying to, I guess, find herself within all this craziness by trying out
teenagers do. I mean, she's older now, but they definitely got separated more during her teenage years. Yeah, because we see the scenes from the base universe. There's this quick clip where we see her.
Oh yeah,
classic 2005 emo look. Okay, we get it.
They just exaggerated that with all the multiverses and all the everything everywhere.
She couldn't. Yeah,
amazing costumes.
Yeah, sure. She couldn't
teenage
figure out
style
who
over
she was.
The top.
Yeah.
I like that aspect, but again, you didn't really I don't know, just have her be an overdramatic teen in real life instead.
Yeah. But then,
instead of the magic jump thing.
But then people maybe wouldn't have gone and seen it if it was just...
No, that's what I said before. If it was just a movie about a family trying to realize why they love each other...
Yeah.
I don't know, I probably wouldn't have seen it, because I'm not a big fan of just dramas.
Yeah.
More now than I was before.
Yes.
But, I don't know if this would have enticed me enough if there wasn't those scenes in the trailer where she was a chef, and then she was a musician or a movie star, and then she could do kung fu, and then all of a sudden there is Jamie Lee Curtis running around in a yellow turtleneck being all weird.
Yeah. No, yeah. But then,
However, those parts of the trailer did not tell me anything of the family drama we would be
it was just showing you. It was just showing you the spectacle.
Yes. So I would have been fine with just watching the spectacle without the family drama as well.
Yeah. Which is...
I don't know what that kind of movie would have been. It would have just been hopping around, I suppose.
I'll tell you exactly what movie that would have been, because that movie was made last year or the year before. And it even had to do with Chinese American immigrants. It's called Minari, and it was a wonderful movie.
Didn't watch that
much
one
better than this. It's literally the same movie, because it's about them leaving. I guess they're Korean, they're not Chinese. But they go to America, and they're gonna start a farm, and they're gonna grow, Korean/Asian vegetables. It's a whole new market. They'll be the only one selling it. And it's about the struggles of running your own business, and how stressful it is, and how that takes a toll on your family, your spouse, your children. There's even the elderly. They have a grandma in that instead of a grandpa.
Yes.
And that being another stress stress moment, whatever you call it in English.
Stressful. Whatever. Yeah, another thing. Just another thing on top of another thing.
And how that, literally their lives collapse because it's too much. They can't handle it. But in the... Spoilers for Minari, I suppose. But then in the end, all they really need is each other. But that movie is... Once again, it's a series of scenes where they talk about this and show us, through their work with the farm and their house. They live in a double-wide trailer. They show the struggles.
Yeah.
And it's very, heartfelt, it's warm, it's sad, it's happy, and there's just the little things, like in the end, how they survive. And I won't spoil that, but it's even in the name because the name is a vegetable, whatever. And it's so quaint, and it's so subtle, and it's chef's kiss. That's like, that's a scalpel. This was 15 sledgehammers.
Yes.
Trying to make a precision cut. Telling a story about love. Yeah, And it's just
cutting axes.
Everything everywhere all at once. Yeah.
So I'll give you that one. The title is very fitting.
Very fitting. Very fitting.
Even the fucking poster is very fitting.
Yeah.
But it's also fitting in the way that it is just too much.
Yeah. And to go back to that, then, 'cause that's my biggest problem with this, is like, it's like the mainstream dumb spectacle movies gonna start infecting like indie films or smaller like films, Kino film, No. Are they like
this
in a couple of years are they gonna make a story about a family that it's about keeping your family together, but they do it through drag racing?
Oh no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I hope not.
Yeah.
I hope this was dipping your toes in and realizing that it's fun, but we need to work on this idea before we keep doing it.
Is the next Paul Thomas Anderson movie gonna be about, it's gonna be about capitalism and heartlessness, but it's in space?
I mean, that could be kind of cool. You could do like a, oh no, what's his name?
Huh?
The rich dude in Mass Effect 2.
The Elusive Man?
Yes. It could be a movie about the Elusive Man.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
I know
it's gonna be like a spectacle. It's like when they did. Do you remember Ad Astra from like 4 years ago? In the 2019, the Brad Pitt in space movie. Brad Pitt is lonely and sad in space.
Yeah.
Remember it?
Did I watch that?
Yeah, I think No, you saw it as well. I think so. Maybe you didn't. Maybe I saw it by myself. Whatever.
No. I know what you mean. Yeah, I saw that, I think.
Yeah.
And it was just so much of him just basically driving across desert plains of sorts, right?
Yeah, well, no, he was riding in a spaceship through space.
Also, but didn't he drive a very long sequence where he was driving across like the moon or something?
Yeah, they're on the moon, and that's one of the cool action scenes because they get attacked by moon pirates.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a movie about like mankind. They ruin everything, and like loneliness is dangerous. It can drive a man insane. It's basically the same story as Joseph Conrad's In the Heart of Darkness, aka Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
But they went to space to tell that story. Like, do you need to go to space to tell that story?
I mean, it adds an element of loneliness because no one can hear you in space.
Yeah, but hey,
we had that a few other space movies about that.
Yeah, do you remember that scene in Cast Away?
Oh yeah.
When he manages to finally he climbs up the one mountain peak on the island.
Yeah.
And so he can, he wants to see if he can like see any ships, any shipping lanes. So maybe there's an island, and he just realizes there's nothing.
There's just
but
water.
Ocean around him, and it realizes that because of the currents, there's waves. Basically, like there's a wall of water around him, so he's all alone.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to go to space. We have explored about 2% of the oceans on our planet.
Exactly.
You can make Ad Astra and just call it hey Subnautica.
Hey.
It could be the same story, but you don't have to go to space.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, we already have a bunch of other space movies about that. We have the one with Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
Where silence is literally a character.
Yeah. And
because she is so alone.
Yeah, and you know what? That movie is just about. It's literally a movie about letting go. Basically, death and rebirth.
Yes.
It's her accepting that her child died.
Yeah.
And moving on. It's the simplest of stories. But
we put it in space.
It's in space, but it's clever.
Oh my god, yes. That is a clever usage of this extra special thing that space is.
Yeah. And when you're in the end, you're
watch
like,
that movie
what?
again.
Yeah, when you're in the end, they don't just say like, well, now I am strong enough to move on. I know my daughter is dead, and I mourn her, of course, but I am also glad that I can move on now. They don't say that.
No.
They show it. And also, you have a kick-ass space adventure. The plot is a kick-ass space adventure. Yeah. The story is about death and rebirth. And it's subtle in its imagery. It's clever. Not always. Some of the stuff is a little like on the nose, but for the most part, it's clever.
And it's also very beautiful. Very
beautiful. This is Everything Everywhere All at Once is not clever.
No. Because
when we get to the point, it's like, oh, that's it?
Yeah. Oh. It's kind of messy, I think, is the best description.
And also, like we said, if you want to make a big story like that, make it about something else than just love, the simple story. Like we said, Gravity, it's about love, loss, death, rebirth, moving on. It's about, finding, the strength to move on from something you think is gonna, basically gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Which, literally and figuratively in the movie.
Movies where you go through the entire chain of grieving and not just, oh, my friend died and now I'm happy again.
Yeah. Or something more recent. I'm pretty sure at this point it's my favorite movie of the year. It might be my favorite movie. The Northman.
Oh.
Not spectacle on the same level, but it's
thought you were going to say another movie.
No, but definitely, spectacle. I mean, there is, sword fights and monsters and so much violence and blood and, lava and witches and, stuff.
Yeah. Magical creatures and all that.
But in the end, it is, how love conquers hate. But it's also about more. It's about more.
Yeah.
It is commentary on Viking culture in general. We talked about that before we saw the movie. We talked a little bit about it because I saw it for the third time the other day. And it's also about vengeance and how that's another classic. If you're what's it called? If you're something for vengeance, you dig two graves, whatever.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
The whole thing that revenge never pays off.
It never actually ends up being a good choice because you end up either being just as bad or you die with them. Yeah, basically.
And the whole thing, which is a big thing in cultures like that, like honor versus love.
Yeah,
and what you choose in the end, and even that because it's kind of simple, but they even do something clever with that where he manages to choose both.
Yeah, in a way.
In a very satisfactory way.
Yeah.
And they also don't stop in the end and say, well, I'll spoil it because we've already done Spoilercast.
Oh yeah.
Well, he chose love when he went on the boat with me, his new love, and she was pregnant, and we were gonna. His lineage would go on, but he also chose honor when he went back to save his family from his evil uncle.
Yeah,
didn't have to say that. He just said like, I gotta go back. I choose both.
He just did it instead.
Yeah.
I thought, however, that you were going to talk about Pig. How Pig goes through all the stages of mourning and coming to terms and
depth and complexity. Holy shit!
Yes. But still having beautiful imagery and clever camera work and more than just being a conversation or flashy imagery and a conversation.
Yeah, where everything works towards
telling the story.
Yes.
And moving everything forward in the right direction.
Yeah, something as subtle as him being dirty the entire movie, but in the literal last scene, he washes his hands.
Mm-hmm.
and that's an ongoing thing that he gets dirtier and dirtier. I mean, he walks around half the movie with the blood-caked hair because he does not give a fuck about himself. He lets himself be beaten up because he doesn't feel human anymore. Any shred of humanity he had died with his wife. Or whatever she was. Yeah, wife.
Yeah, and more more literally than when the pig disappeared.
Yeah.
Representation of losing his wife is the pig being kidnapped.
Thought of that. Like, yeah, the pig represents his wife?
Yeah, well, it represents the loss of love.
Yeah, I know.
Which is so deep and so beautiful.
Yeah.
And we are off the topic now, though.
yeah, but you know what? Because there's not much to say about Everything Everywhere All at Once, other than... Yeah, it's a lot. Cool effects. But in the end, it's like... Oh.
I feel like we should mention the acting a little bit.
Sure, yeah. Oh, and we can talk about the aging Chinese immigrant description.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, all the acting was spot on. I think everyone was great. Maybe the daughter was a little...
Well...
But that's more the character, maybe.
Perhaps.
Angsty teenager character, I can't take that.
Also, for some reason, I got like... There is one other actress. Now, I don't know where either of them are from, but they look a lot alike. But she has been signed on to Netflix, I think. Uh-huh. She's in the All the Boys I Loved Before movies.
Oh, I haven't... Yeah. I know of them, I haven't seen
You know the face, right?
I guess, yeah.
They look very much alike. And I just felt like they wanted her, but they got this one instead.
Or I have no reference point, so yeah, I guess. I know. I don't know.
I don't know if that's the point or whatever, but that's the feeling I got. And perhaps she is this one, what we have here. I don't remember her name. Stephanie Sue.
Yeah.
She's like a budget version, I guess. Even though the other one is not a great actress either, so... I'm just being rude here. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. The daughter is the lesser, I suppose, of the actors.
Yeah. Yeah, Michelle Yeoh.
Partially script, partially acting. Not sure.
Yeah, like I said, the character doesn't help either, you know.
No.
But yeah, Michelle Yeoh and Ki-Hui Kwan are fucking amazing in this movie.
Yes.
They're great. And it's fun. I know a lot of people already mentioned that, but I gotta mention as well. To see Ki-Hui Kwan, I'm sorry if I'm
the man who played the husband?
Yeah, the husband.
Waymond, with a W, not an R.
Yeah, which I thought they just made a racist mistake in the subtitling, but no, his name is Waymond.
Yeah.
He is kind of, took some time off acting.
Oh.
Because he was like, maybe you're a little too young. I mean, I'm too young for it also, but he played. I always remember him as Short Round from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. No time for love, Dr. Jones.
Is that him?
That's him. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And he was Data in The Goonies, which is a movie I don't like, but whatever.
Oh yeah.
It's a very famous movie. So he did a lot of stuff in the 80s, but then I guess acting wasn't really his thing. I think the last thing he did... Oh yeah, I think he's in one scene in Encino Man. Oh, that's right, yeah. But then, from 2002, we did a movie called Second Time Around. I don't know what that is. He didn't do anything until 2021 when he did Finding Ohana, which is that... Oh, it's that Netflix movie, okay. So he just, did something else. And it's nice to see him, return to acting and not just be, but that's because of the time we live in. But still, being cast as like stereotypical, let's laugh at his bad Chinese accent, character.
He's an side character.
Yeah, he's an actual character here.
Yes.
And then let's talk about the way they describe the description on IMDb, saying an aging Chinese immigrant is swept up in an insane adventure.
What is...
Nowhere in this movie, except for one comment, which is unfounded, does race play into this, I think.
No.
I mean, it's
It is the one thing, yeah, where she's like, I think the IRS woman just hates us because we're Chinese.
Yeah.
That's the one time they mention it.
But I think she's also just saying that because her receipts are not in order, so she needs to blame someone.
Yes.
And of course, there is a lot of, like, Chinese culture in the movie, and a lot of the dialogue is in Chinese when they talk to each other, which makes sense, because, they're Chinese immigrants. They're going to speak their mother tongue for the most part. Of course. Yeah.
Especially, if you kept speaking it to your parents, her English is perfect kind of thing. Yeah, we get it.
Exactly. That's normal. And James Hong barely speaks English. He doesn't speak in the movie, so, they have to keep speaking Chinese. Or Mandarin, sorry. But that doesn't really play in. There's no, social commentary angle where,
Except for, I guess, suppose that one sentence, which is also like...
But that's a throwaway thing.
They threw that in just because.
Yeah, and then,
Honestly...
If you want to nitpick, they have a throwaway racist line about Jews as well, because they call Jenny Slate a big nose.
True.
Or, she has a big nose.
Honestly, they kind of overdid the Chinese immigrant stereotype with having them have a laundromat and a laundry service shop. It's like, that's, I guess the stereotype is a stereotype because it actually exists, but also, did it have a plot point? Is there a reason for it to the story? Really? Or could it have been, I don't know, a Jewish family having a fucking deli shop? Or, I don't know, I can't think of any other stereotypes for some reason. Latin American with a bodega. I don't know.
Yeah.
The race of the family, the origin of the family, and the actual workplace have anything to do with the actual story of loving your family and having a lot on your plate? No,
but I think, they chose an Asian family. I don't know why they chose it. I know one of the Daniels is
I was about to say that. Is Dan Kwan perhaps Asian and has some sort of, this is partially
maybe
based by his family and or whatever.
But I also want to talk about that, how, stereotypes, I'm very confused by stereotypes, because most of the time it's a bad thing when you use stereotypes.
Yes.
But here, it's a very stereotypical Chinese family. She's, the grumpy Chinese lady who's like says, no shoes in dryer. If it breaks, you pay.
Yeah.
I can see another universe where this movie would be called racist.
But because
here it isn't. I don't know when a stereotype is good and when a stereotype is bad. So I'm just not gonna mention it because I don't know. I don't know when this is a good stereotype.
I mean, we're white, so
yeah, but it's
can't
super,
really.
It's super, but it's stereotypical because it's also true. A lot.
Well,
of it.
Yeah, all of this. Most stereotypes are based on reality in a way.
Yeah.
However, they are usually blown out of proportion.
Yeah. So I don't know. The only thing I can say that where the laundromat played into the story, well, one is also that they have a much closer connection to their extended family. I mean, have you seen the movie The Farewell with Aquafina, where she travels home because her grandma or great-grandma or someone is about to die, so they're having a farewell party. It's a great movie.
Oh, no, I've not seen it, no.
Yeah, okay. But, unlike some Western cultures, they're closer when it comes to family.
Yeah, sure.
The older generation moves in when they're too old, you have to take care of them.
Yeah, there's definitely a different kind of togetherness.
Yeah, so there you have, like I mentioned, Minari, same thing there, they have the old grandma.
Yeah.
So that, of course, is another, stress element.
Sure.
And the fact that they're a small business owner, more stress, of course.
Yeah,
but tax and everything. And the whole laundromat thing is, there's a lot of, I don't know if you noticed that, other than all the googly eyes, there's a lot of circles in the movie. Not just a donut. I mean, the movie literally opens with them all squished together in a little circle in the mirror.
Yeah.
And then we move into the mirror
circle,
later.
the circle was definitely a symbolic choice.
Yeah.
Because it also represents
infinity.
Yes, and everything can be crammed into one circle, sort of kind of thing.
And they were surrounded by circles spinning round and round and round endlessly in that laundromat. So, it works. I mean, and then maybe it's just more realistic to make it an Asian family. I don't know.
I honestly felt like they could have been any color, race, religion, whatever. It wouldn't really made a difference. Except for perhaps if it is based loosely or anything at all on.
But at the risk of being a little racist, how would you do the fight scenes then?
What? Are only Asians allowed to learn martial arts? Don't we have like
how many Jewish pawn shop owners have you seen? Kung fu fighting.
I mean, isn't the Israeli army like super great at close combat? Isn't that like one of the things they train
it's not
much?
Not if you want to talk about stereotypes, Jews are not known for their fighting capability.
Sure.
If we talk, another like big stereotype like that.
Sure.
I just
did it have to be fucking kung fu then? Couldn't it have been something else?
I don't know.
Like, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, though. Like,
yeah, but what I'm trying to get at is that they pointed out on the IMDb summary.
Yes,
it's an
which
aging
is so
Chinese
unnecessary.
Immigrants. Like in the movie, it's just people.
It's a family.
Yeah,
we don't need to
be
know
Asian, but those are people too, so it shouldn't matter what race they are.
That doesn't have a point to the plot that they're Asian. They just happen to be Chinese. Who cares at this point?
Yeah.
And I just wanted to touch on the thing that you said. It was difficult to know when is it
a good or bad stereotype?
Yes. Like, when is it racially insensitive eventually? I don't know either, to be honest. But as long as they're not whitewashing things, I think it's mostly fine.
Sure.
Which, yes, they did choose all Asian actors to play Asian characters. Thank you.
And
good, good detail.
I think I mentioned it now. I forget the word. Representation.
Yeah, sure.
It's a great way to do representation without shoving it in your face.
Yeah.
Sort of like now we're just talking about race and stuff. It's starting to get weird, but whatever. Like Jordan Peele has done with his two movies, Get Out and Us. Like specifically, or more, I guess, Us than Get Out.
Sure, yeah.
Us is just about a family. There are certain cultural aspects put into it.
Definitely.
But it's just about a family.
But in the bottom,
a black family instead of a white family.
Because he is black, so it's perhaps easier to write in those details to make it black.
Get Out definitely talks more about systemic and social issues and stuff, and like,
obviously.
But still, it's about a black guy.
Yeah,
that story could have been about a white guy. It would have been weird, but it could have been. But it's representation, it's inclusivity done right. If it's anything that I like about modern movies like this, it's that they're smart about that. They're not trying to like shove their fucking propaganda in your face.
Which I just have to. We mentioned it in last week's episode. They did very wrong there because they whitewashed the one not white or like Western cultural. Oh no, that's not the right word.
What are we talking
about? They whitewashed the
fucking
Indian. Or Native American, I suppose, is the correct wording.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah, we talked about that in the
why
the Firestarter 1984 discussion, which you can listen to on Patreon.com/Don'tMakeAScene, where you get an extra episode every week, including commentary tracks, exclusive videos, early access to my other podcast, so much stuff for just $3 a month. Check it out. Back to the discussion.
Yeah, that in that one they kind of failed with that and just went.
Yeah, but then it's an early '80s movie.
Yeah.
It was different back then.
However, in the modern version, they also kind of failed. They didn't whitewash it, but they failed with casting because it felt like they chose someone based on their looks more than their acting chops.
Yeah, because we got
they wanted
an
the
actual
representation.
Native American playing the Native American character. Unfortunately, he sucked.
Yeah.
He was terrible. Not terrible, he was bad.
He was a bad actor.
Yeah.
Probably a great person, but a bad actor.
I'm sure he's fine. Yeah.
So, yes, I agree. Representation in modern media is definitely better.
Better. And it's like in movies like this and
it's
in
great.
us, it's implemented so well.
Yeah.
And
but then we have...
I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
So that you don't get the angry knee-jerk right-wingers going,
Yes.
they're shoving their blacks in our face. No, it's just people.
No, it's just people. However, IMDb, you need to change your caption.
Yeah,
for this
it's a
one.
weird thing. An aging Chinese immigrant.
You don't even have to mention that they're aging.
You don't mean you just don't mean like a
middle-aged
tired
couple with a
middle-aged lady?
teenage daughter?
Yeah.
It's just stupid.
Why are you pointing out her race, IMDb?
Exactly.
Do you have a problem with race?
Yeah.
Are you fixated at race? By race? Anyway.
We're kind of rounding on it.
Let's
I
wrap
had
up.
one more thing I wanted to talk about, because the music was interesting. I'm trying to find who... Yeah, I don't know who that is. Son Lux.
I think that's a band or a group. I think.
Oh yeah, it's a okay, they're like text on IMDb. A geographically and culturally diverse band.
Ooh.
With Rafik Bhatia, Ian Chang, and Ryan Lott, each bringing their unique sonic approach to create an otherworldly whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a really nice job on the music, and looking at what they've helped out on before, yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, they were involved in the music for Looper, amongst other things.
Huh.
I like the music. I just wanted to point that out.
Like, just thinking about it now, I don't remember the music much.
No, but
when
it
we
added...
saw the movie, yeah, it was definitely... I remember music, I just can't point something specific out.
No,
yeah,
but it
was
worked perfectly for the setting.
Yeah.
Enough so
sure.
that it... But in the way where it melted into what you were watching, instead of being a separate character that we've mentioned in previous episodes, that sometimes the music can play such a big part that it's a separate character. In this case, it didn't need to be that. We already had enough.
Yeah.
Instead, they managed to melt it into what was happening in a perfect way, which is also fantastic. Again, production.
Exactly.
Fantastic production.
Unlike, and I just want to mention Northman again, where the music is basically
a character,
a second lead in the movie.
Yes.
They finally released it on Spotify, and I've been listening to it over and over. Oh my, it's so fucking good.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, in Northman, it is it's a separate character bringing in extra to the movie. In this case, it's just melting into what it is to set the tone perfectly.
Sure, yeah.
Because, we did not need another element in this movie.
Yeah, imagine the music was, like, overbearing.
Oh my god, I would have puked, probably. To be honest.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it.
That's
for everything, everywhere, all at once.
Much like the movie and the title, this episode has been a bit everywhere, everything, all at once.
Yeah, but that's
comes with the territory, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like I said, I would probably recommend it. Would you recommend this to people?
To some people. And I would preface this with, like, you need to have, like, an open mind and... Well, not open. What's it called? Like a... You know, and you need to be... Pigoglad. I can't think of the words in English.
I don't know.
Like, you can't be tired. You can't be after a long day sitting down on the couch, chilling and watching this. No. There's a lot going to happen.
On the senses.
Yeah,
like,
you need to be alert and focused.
Yeah. Have a cup of coffee. That'll probably help slow the movie down.
Watch it in the middle of the day, not at night.
Yeah. Do a line of coke before you watch it.
Sort of. Maybe some mushrooms. I don't know.
No, that would freak you out.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I wouldn't know. I would not know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I only have theoretical knowledge, unfortunately. But yeah, that's Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes.
It's not the greatest movie I've ever made, and in my opinion, it's not even the best movie of the year.
No. No.
Do you have just quickly? Do you have your favorite movie of the year? Because I'm keeping a tally on Letterboxd, and The Northman is obviously. I doubt anything is going to beat it at this point.
Yeah, that's not my favorite. Definitely not.
No,
I'm like, what have I watched in 2022? I mean, no, technically they're not from this year, so I don't know.
Which one?
I fucking loved Coda and Belfast, but they were from last year technically.
Yeah, but they came out in Sweden this year. So if we're counting Swedish releases.
When did Pig release in Sweden?
That was November last year.
Ah, fuck it.
It came out on DVD, and it was even earlier on like film festivals and stuff.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, then I guess Coda and Belfast are top for me right now.
All right. Yeah, and I of course have The Northman. Closely followed by Jackass Forever.
Also, though, yeah, my closely followed that is a bit out there is The Lost City. Fucking amazing.
Oh, you've seen it already?
Oh yeah. Have you not seen that? I've reviewed it on Letterboxd.
No, I didn't see that.
It is pure joy. I was smiling the entire film.
Wait, the Sandra Bullock
Yes!
Radcliffe movie?
Yes.
Okay. Is it a Netflix movie?
No, I don't think so. It's...
Oh, you just saw it and
No. I went to theaters.
Oh, you're going to theaters as well?
I do have a brother, a boyfriend.
Yes. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, he probably loved it as well.
Not as much as I did, though.
Oh, okay. Wow.
It's a bit of a chick flick, but it's pure joy and entertainment in the simplest of ways.
I do like Channing Tatum. Maybe I'll check it out.
You should. Honestly, go watch that before you watch Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know.
That is my very short end of the episode review on that one. Please go watch it. It's fantastic. Don't go in like expecting like deep and dark and
it's
fighting. No. It's entertainment.
Sure. All right.
Yeah. Sorry.
We'll end it on that. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Check us out on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. There are links wherever you're listening to this or watching it. There's a link to the other socials. Check it out.
Yes.
And we're gonna do one last multiverse discussion on next week's Patreon episode. We're finally gonna talk about, and at this point I almost don't want to talk about it. We're gonna talk about Spider-Man: No Way Home.
In conclusion with all the other Spider-Mans, probably.
Yeah. I really wanted to talk about it like in January, and you were like, I'm gonna watch it. Wait.
Yeah, it just took me 6 months to watch it, so that sets the tone for that, I suppose.
Yeah, if you want to hear us talk about Spider-Man No Way Home, check us out, patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. But until the next time, have a good one.
Bye.
The Spoilercast is part of Please Don't Make a Scene. It is hosted by Tobias Vedén and Rebecca Vedén. Produced and directed by Tobias Vedén. Executive producer is Annika Vedén and Laura Kinney. A huge shout out to all our patrons over on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. Laura Kinney, Mom, and Dad.